Well, Avengers Secret Wars might be a little bit away. However, in the meantime, there are so many extremely important MCU movies coming out in between now and Secret Wars. Now, Marvel Studios has a lot planned. A lot of movies, a lot of Disney Plus projects, plus some special presentations, and we've heard that they might be considering doing limited series as well. So a lot of content coming from Marvel Studios, and hopefully most of these projects that are coming out are pretty decent. However, today we are specifically going to be talking about 4 movies that are going to pave the way and do all of the groundwork to set up Avengers Secret Wars. These are going to be the 4 most important movies moving forward in the MCU that are going to directly connect to what is about to go down in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. While yes, some of the other projects might connect to it a little bit, kind of like The Marvels. The Marvels was a story of its own. However, at the end, we kind of dove into the multiverse a little bit. But these are going to more directly set up things for Secret Wars. So I'm super excited to talk about what is about to come in the MCU. But first, big congratulations to YouTube user Jordan Jensen148 for being the winner of last month's giveaway. And we have started the December giveaway. Same thing if you want a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on our videos. We pick one random comment from a random video at the end of each month. So the first movie we'll start off with is one of the most anticipated movies just in general in the MCU, out of both Phase 5 and Phase 6. And that is Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland returning. This doesn't come as that big of a surprise that Spider-Man 4 is going to be an extremely important film for Secret Wars in the MCU in general moving forward. And no, we're not talking about it being important because Tom Holland is going to get the Venom symbiote and become Venom. That apparently is not going to be happening until Avengers Secret Wars, so don't expect that to happen in Spider-Man 4. However, we do know, of course, that Spider-Man No Way Home had to do with the multiverse. And that's not something that you just forget. You don't just forget that 2 other variants of yourself from 2 other universes popped up and helped you take on villains from their respective universes. Plus, not to mention, an incursion almost happened at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. So we didn't know it at the time, but Spider-Man No Way Home really did set up Avengers Secret Wars in a huge way with the incursion storyline. Plus, not to mention, we have heard that Tom Holland is going to be the lead in Avengers Kang Dynasty. However, here's the deal. We don't exactly know when Spider-Man 4 is going to come out. We have no doubt that he'll be the lead in Kang Dynasty, but since we don't have an official release date, the big question is, does Spider-Man 4 come out before Kang Dynasty or after? We've heard rumors that it's going to come out after, which does make sense. They're just now getting back into the boardroom, talking about what the movie is going to be about. So they're in pre-production in a very, very early stage. They're just now kind of getting the idea of what the story is going to be about. But if it comes after Kang Dynasty, then that means the story for Spider-Man 4 is going to be super focused on the multiverse and Kang, because you're not really going to be able to sidestep that story after the huge movie that is the Kang Dynasty and the huge evil villain that came into play. Now, of course, Spider-Man can fight a villain like Kingpin or somebody, but the overall story of the multiverse will loom over the entire movie, and ultimately the end of Spider-Man 4 will set up Secret Wars in a big way. I would even love it if Spider-Man fought a Kang variant in Spider-Man 4, but let us know what you'd like to see from Spider-Man 4 in the comments down below. The next extremely important movie is Shang Chi 2. Now, we already know that the first Shang Chi film set up not only the rest of the Avengers, but Shang Chi to be with the Avengers in a really big way. And originally, the director for Shang Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton, was supposed to direct Avengers Kang Dynasty. However, we have recently learned that he is no longer directing that project. However, the report did state that he is still working with Marvel Studios on other projects in a pretty big way. So he still could return to direct Shang-Chi 2. What's really big about Shang-Chi 2 is the connection that the 10 rings are going to have to Kang the Conqueror. In Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, they made sure to be very vague about how Wenwu could have possibly gotten the 10 rings. They did not tell us how he got them, only hinted at stories of how he could have got them. But at this point in time in the MCU, it's pretty clear that the 10 rings are indeed Kang technology. Insiders have been stating this for a very long time now about the 10 rings and about the bangle that Kamala Khan had. Plus now, after the Marvels, we know that Kamala Khan has 2 bangles, and the bangles have the power to literally open up portals to different dimensions. That is 100% Kang technology. That is exactly what he does. He is the conqueror of the multiverse. He is able to travel throughout time and throughout space, and not just in our universe, but through all of the universes. So we can assume that the 10 rings are somewhat similar. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania showed us that Kang uses rings as a part of his technology, basically confirming the 10 rings from Shang Chi are indeed his tech. So whatever is coming in Shang Chi 2 is going to definitely deal with the 10 rings, since Wong, Carol Danvers, and Bruce Banner were inspecting them. And I think when we dive into Shang Chi 2, we are going to see that Kang connection with the 10 rings. The question is, did Kang directly give Wenwu the 10 rings? Did Wenwu actually find them? And if so, where did he find them? How did they get there? Let us know your current thoughts about this in the comments down below. Now, the next one, of course, is one of the most highly anticipated, if not the most highly anticipated movie in the MCU up until Secret Wars, and that is the Fantastic Four. This movie is quite interesting because we have heard some very interesting things about it. Like, for example, this movie will actually take place in an alternate universe, not in the main MCU 616 Sacred Timeline universe. I've actually always thought that this was a really good idea. If we are dealing with the multiverse, in which we're in the multiverse saga, it would make sense to show a movie from a different universe's perspective, especially when in Secret Wars, all of these universes are going to start colliding into each other. So the fact that this could take place in a different universe, I think is a brilliant idea. Now, as far as how they could get into our universe, well, we've heard a rumor that at the end of the movie, the TVA is going to show up and save just the Fantastic Four, just the F4 family. But if that ends up not being true, then incursions can happen and the Fantastic Four could simply collide with our universe and only one universe survives, maybe our universe, maybe theirs, but all of the heroes end up in the same place. So either way, there's a way to do this to where the Fantastic Four film can take place in a separate universe and end up in the same universe as all of these other heroes that we're going to get. And speaking of Deadpool 3, of course, Deadpool 3 is that fourth film. Deadpool 3 is probably going to be the most important film between now and Secret Wars. Yes, even more important than Avengers Kang Dynasty. If what we've heard about Deadpool 3 is true, then Deadpool 3 is going to be the actual start of Secret Wars, where we are going to see a lot of different characters from a lot of different universes come together in one place. Now, according to reports from insiders, the TVA, of course, since they monitor the entire multiverse, is going to realize that incursions are starting to happen, universes are falling apart, and they're also going to realize that there are some Kang the Conqueror variants that are out of control who are trying to control the entire multiverse, like exactly what we saw in the post-credit scene for Quantumania. From there, the TVA is going to go to a bunch of dying universes and save heroes that they think will be good in a fight against Kang the Conqueror. They will essentially start to recruit a multiversal Avengers team, which will not only consist of the Avengers, but the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and a bunch of other heroes as well. And they'll probably have some villains too. I'm really hoping this is where Dr. Doom comes into play. So obviously this one is a no-brainer. This will be the most important movie building up to Secret Wars in the MCU. In fact, from what we're told, this will happen immediately before Avengers Secret Wars, meaning when Deadpool 3 ends, it'll pick up right away with Secret Wars. So again, a lot of exciting things that are coming in between now and Avengers Secret Wars. Yes, it's far away, but we have a lot to look forward to. Let me know what you're most looking forward to in the comments down below, and if you have a good theory about any of these projects, be sure to drop them in the comments. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.